Hi, I'm Jesse. This is Alicia, my girlfriend. This is our 1994 Ford Econoline. Is it 95? It's a 95. Ford Econoline 150, 5.8 liter V8. We've been living in it since August. It had two captain seats in the front there, and then it had a cool, like, fold down queen size-ish bed that just folded down from seats. So that was really cool. It was fully done inside, like it had just AC, everything, full speakers, everything. So we had to take all that out until we had it down to the bare metal. And then we installed subfloor. So there's styrofoam insulation on the bottom, followed by a layer of OSB, and then a frame, basically just simple frames with another styrofoam layer, followed by the flooring, which is right here on this part. But underneath there's no other flooring, so save a little bit of money doing that. Then I vapor barriered everything, as you can see, it's just caught up in here. There's vapor barrier on the walls, styrofoam insulation in the walls, just kind of filled inside the gaps. So I didn't pay for very much of the material at all, really. I was able to just take from the scrap bin whatever I didn't use at work. I just kind of pulled it aside, tossed it in my truck, and brought it here. So the only wood we did pay for was the spruce that's on the outside, because I needed just a ton of it and I didn't really have that readily available. But all the doors, everything, like these countertops I built, that was one of the last parts, just laminate. This was originally, like I said, it had water in it before. Like, if you were to take this countertop off, there's probably 3 holes where we decided to put the sink in different times. We couldn't really settle on it, but that's why this cutting board is here now, because there's a big hole there. And so when I took we originally had those like the hand pump kind of faucet, and that worked for like a solid weekend. We went to a music festival and it lasted the whole weekend. And then I came out one day and there's water all over the countertop. Now we just rock the water jugs, just kind of float around freely. That's our water source. So no more sink. Now this is all food. So this used to have this here. This is like a knife holder and stuff that I built. But this is our camp stove, which is what we mainly cook on. Originally we were gonna cook on top here, but as you can see, this is kind of in the way now. But we didn't really like cooking on top. It was kind of like the wood stove was really close to the top, and it would make the top get really hot, and it just wasn't really practical. So now we just set up on the floor. Basically, we just unhook it, set it all up on the floor. So there's tons of dishes under here. Originally I was gonna put a door here, but it's kind of impractical and stuff. So and there's clothing and stuff under here. Just basic counters. Take your side there, I'll show you all the electrical. So the bed's kind of a process to get up. You gotta fold this, turn this sideways, move this over, and then it gets a little notch there. Underneath here we have our laundry bin. Then we have 2 deep cycle Nautilus marine batteries that power a 1500 watt Eliminator inverter. It's right there, so that gives us all readily available power with plugins. That's all powered by the alternator, hopefully eventually, but for right now it's just running on a 75 watt just Coleman solar panel we got, and that comes to this little guy right here. So you can see it's charging now with full batteries. Sometimes it'll be like just straight dead and so then we got to park it in a good spot to get the sun. But yeah, so there's tons of storage under there. We have propane heaters under there. I got my drills. I have enough tools to literally swap out an engine if I wanted to. Like, I have so many tools under there. everything emergency. I don't know, lots of heated blankets and good stuff. Then there's the roof. That was honestly probably the most costly part of the whole gig, was the roof. Just because this roof rack right here was like $300, and it was like brand new, and then the cedar's expensive, and we actually got the roof carrier for a really good deal on Kijiji, so that was white at one point, and I painted it all. Yeah, then we mounted that ladder. Like, that ladder came off Kijiji, it was just a buy. I came home and she's like, I got a surprise, and it was this ladder, and I was super pumped because that was one of the hardest things to find, was a ladder that would fit any type of van. We bought blackout curtains from Walmart, like 2 packs, and we left in the van on like a Monday, and me and my mom did them on like Sunday night, like last minute. Like, they're taped together, but they work really good. And then I mounted them just with screws, and so it's kind of just like, I don't know, they just roll down basically. It's not that bad. It's kind of a pain about having to get up, but they roll up, so I mean, they're nice. And they black out, so it's as dark as night. We were gonna put reflect decks on some of the windows originally, and we were still gonna do that when we were in the cold, because it was really, really cold. But I like the light. I like the windows, being able to open it up. Driving with all the windows down, like all the blinds, it just feels so wrong. So you open up the windows and it just opens up the space so much more. And then you put the blinds down, it's bedtime. I always was kind of a fan of small living, like tiny living, like small houses. And then we wanted to travel, and we really wanted to come to Island, so this was kind of the next best thing, like put it on wheels, right? Like, we looked at every option possible, like Volkswagen vans, Mercedes-Benz Sprinter vans. It's just really freeing, honestly. Like, it's just, we don't have anywhere we need to be, right? And that's nice. We can go wherever we want.
What was the transition like for you, having to get rid of things and that kind of stuff?
Do you want to start that one? Because she got started on it about 7 or 8 months before I did.
Yeah, I had to. I had so much stuff. My whole makeup collection could have fit in this van.
Like,
but no, just like, it was really hard at first, but as you continue to do it, it just gets liberating. You just want to get rid of everything. Like, it's so great not to have all these stupid things. Like, I don't even know what I did with all of my stuff before. But it's also just wonderful. Like, everything that is in here is something we really, really love. Like, it got its place in here for a reason. So just to be surrounded by all the things you love is pretty great. So.
Like I said, she started way earlier than me. Like, I'd come home and she'd be big bags, and I was like, I have so much stuff. But we still have things, like we do, like outside of the van, but those are just in storage at like parents' houses. And it's really nice, like she said, it's liberating. Like, you almost want to, like, every couple of weeks just be like, okay, what can we get rid of? Like, this, have you touched this in 2 months? No. You really kind of put yourself in a situation where you have to get rid of your stuff, and that's a lot easier than just being like, okay, I'm just gonna get rid of my stuff. Because then you're never gonna get rid of your stuff. Like, I would have never got rid of all my clothes or all my stuff. Like, now you kind of have no choice. Like, and I can't go buy stuff. Like, I can't. It sucks, but like, I can't go buy a car because where am I gonna put it? Like, I have nowhere to put it, so it kind of limits you in a good way. Yeah, like, honestly, the plan is really to try and get rid of the whole rent. Like, that was kind of the shittiest part about living in this. Like, we lived in Edmonton, so it was kind of more expensive to live there. And yeah, so we're saving like, what, $700-800, more than that, like $1,000 a month. So all that is, the idea is basically just to save it. And we want to buy land here. Like, this is just amazing here. So we'd like to buy some sort of property here, and then park this on it, and then build a small house. Like, there's so many things. Like, I want to be completely self-sufficient, and that was part of the van, was you can be completely self-sufficient. But other than that, man, gas and food, that's basically all you spend your money on, unless you go out and eat everywhere, right? But if you cook, like, that's the hardest part, honestly, is cooking. Like, we don't have a stovetop. Like, if we had a stovetop, that would be amazing, because you could just, like, I see vans with big counter spaces, and I'm like, oh, I wish. But like, this is just super simple. So yeah, like, that's where your money will go if you just kind of stray off and just go to McDonald's every day. But yeah, yeah, so that's the plan. It's just stay in this for like probably a long time.
I really want to go eventually speak at schools about mental health and recovery and things. Big advocate of that. So this is just the best way to do it, right? Like, I can go anywhere in here and have everything. But yeah, that was a big part of it for me, was my mental health as well. Not good mental health. I have bipolar 2 and borderline personality disorder. And honestly, the whole van thing was a big struggle, because part of my issue is I get very overwhelmed very easily. So this was a huge transition. But then you realize it's this transition into something smaller and something so much easier to manage. And it's really nice because I get really super depressed and I don't leave bed. But here I am laying in bed looking at the ocean. So like, most ideal place to be sad, really. So yeah, it's been really great that way.
Yeah, because like your dad was like, no, don't do it.
Yeah.
But I kind of forced it, and so, but it proved it worked, so it worked out. So, but that's honestly the best thing, is just being able to, like, I don't know, it's kind of fun parking at McDonald's for 7 hours and getting Wi-Fi and just relaxing, right? And like not having to worry about, like, I don't know, the most I worry about is the engine, like, but that's everybody, right? Most of the time, like, it's just big walks, right? And that's really the best part about the van life, is being able to walk in all these places, like, and go to all these places. Like, I've never been to this island before. I used to call it Victoria Island. I had no idea it was Vancouver Island for the longest time. And she corrects me every time. Like, I had no idea where this was. And like, this whole environment just blows my mind. So, like, I thank the van every day. Her name's Emmy Lou. I should have probably said that at the beginning, but
named after the Vance Joy song.
Yeah. You ever heard that song? It's a great song. It's like, it's a love song, so I mean, really, like, what else can you love, right? And so, yeah, I thank her every day, man. She opens my eyes to all sorts of different situations, like weird situations that you never thought you'd be in, but you're sitting on the side of the highway and you're just like it just died one day. Like, just going down the highway just died, and I was just like, and then I started to get really stressed, and like, she just looked at me, she's like, Jesse, this is everything we have, like, we're fine. Like, we could stay here for 4 or 5 hours and like, no one's gonna do anything. Like, you just come lay down. Like, so I went and laid down and like figured it all out and got it started again. And but like, I would have just freaked out if I had never had the van. Like, if it was like my truck or something. Oh, but that's, I don't know, it's kind of, it puts a weird type of motivation on you in life. I try and force my friends to do it. Like, every time my friends text me, I'm just like, hey man, like, Victoria's amazing. Like, and I'll send them Snapchats of this and like, oh, where are you? And I'm like, man, I'm in Canada still. Like, just like, I'm still there. Like, but like, you guys should come here. And they're all like, oh, well, yeah, but this. I'm like, man, like, van is so easy. Like, I have friends who have a Dodge Caravan already, just as like a there's their daily driver. And I'm just like, you guys, like, you got 80% of the work done right there. Like, you got a car already, just live in it. And they're like, oh, well, this and this. And it's like, okay. Like, what are you gonna say? Like, if people don't want to do it, they don't want to do it. But I recommend that everyone do it, because even my mom, like, she wants, like, they have a massive house and they want to just make it so small now because of this, because they see this and they're like, oh, we want less stuff. Like we told someone once that we lived in a van, like, on the street. They were just talking to us, and there's this couple, and they legitimately stopped us and were like, but are you guys okay? Like, is everything okay? Like, they thought we were homeless. Like, they legitimately thought we were doing it because we just had no choice. And I'm like, no, like, you don't understand. Like, it's a choice. And they're like, oh, what? Like, it was just, like, they were just blown away. And it's like, because people don't think of it as this. Like people just think of it as, okay, we're sleeping in our vehicle and just traveling around with a dog. But no, it's like, this is a full home. Like, we can go off the grid. We can just, like, we power everywhere. Like, it's a full home. And really, once you open the doors, everyone's just kind of like, okay. Like, when you open it and they see the paint and all the work, that's the thing. People really appreciate the work that goes into living in a van. Like, it's not, you don't just wake up one day and like just get into a van and live in it. Like, you gotta prep for it, and like, you gotta save money for it, and you gotta have an emergency funds and stuff. So once people understand that, and they understand that this isn't just like oh, I'm a hippie and I just live in a van for no reason. Like, it's like there's a lot of effort went into it, right? So then people appreciate that, and so that kind of changes everyone's view on it. And like, people are jealous, man. Like, when you post pictures and stuff on Instagram and people see that, like, hey, I'm not standing in 6 feet of snow, everyone's like, what? And I'm like, why don't you just buy a van and do that? Like, and that's really the hardest part, is just doing it. It was probably the biggest leap I've ever taken, so then to have it actually pay off is just the nicest feeling. To be here is just amazing. Just travel wherever you want. Like, we saw all my family, and that was amazing. Like, I haven't seen them in years, so that was cool. And that was all because of this, right? So it really gives you something if you just try.
Hey everybody, I'm Forrest. I'm the man behind the camera on the video you just saw. And for those wondering, and for those who don't know, I am still making the movie, The Reality of Van Life. We're good. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, hell yeah. So what's your story? How come you're living in a van?
How come I'm living in a van? I have so many reasons.
This is going to be a 45 to 60 minute long feature documentary. At a lot of ways, it's looking at the challenges and the reality of van life. In other ways, it's looking at the broader spectrum of how van life is romanticized on social media and critically and comedically exploring that idea. So if you're interested in that movie, a lot of updates will be on this channel, so stay tuned for that. Feel free to subscribe. There will be lots of updates on the community tab as well as in these films. I'm making this film with the goal to sell it to Netflix. I'm not exactly sure when it will be released, but hopefully sometime this spring for a limited theatrical release, and then people will be able to view it hopefully on Netflix or some other streaming site like that. So thank you all for sticking with me this far in my journey and for watching my YouTube channel and being part of this community. I'll see you guys next week for another alternative living documentary, and stay tuned for more updates about the reality of #vanlife.